Morning, darlings. It's Miss Coconut. How are you doing? I'm doing well. So we're going to do a quick weekly roundup because there was so many things happening this week. And, I was busy, so I didn't drop any videos. And I want to talk about it briefly. And if I need to do a video separately, I will. But almost no one was talking about the hack that occurred with the Federal Reserve. They are just telling us that the Federal Reserve system was down, and this is the particular system that allows banks to transfer from one bank to another. No one hardly talked about it. Not only that, they are calling this an operational error, which to me means user error, someone messed up. But how about this is probably just a hack, like the last hack when someone stole $81 million from a Bangladeshi bank account that was held in New York. What are they doing with our money, people? I guess they needed to hack the system to divert funds so that they can go launch missiles at Syria. Fake political news. Kamala Harris says she's upset that she didn't know that we were actually going to do the airstrikes over Syria. I mean, she probably doesn't even understand why we are doing it. I know what they told us. They told us that it's in retaliation. But yeah, okay. Can someone explain to me what we are doing over there in other people's countries, starting fights that Biden said no president should have the right to do? Come on, Biden. You haven't even been in office but a few days. Why are you messing around with Syria already after you spoke out so very strongly against Trump for doing similar actions? Make it make sense, Biden. In other Hollyweird news, and I call it Hollyweird because they're always acting and playing roles and characters, and they usually do it from birth. I'm sorry if you hear a little noise in the background. I have on chandelier earrings today, and they're jingling, baby. So Tiger was marked early on, and as you notice, recently he had a car crash, and I don't know if you noticed, but the headline said on one of these newspapers that Tiger doesn't even remember being in the car or the crash. That's because this is his third incarnation of the golf star that he's been groomed to be. And so they do these car crashes to draw on the sympathy of the people and use that energy. And then they take these robots, put them back in the shop, tweak them, and roll them out and see if they can fulfill their contractual agreements and generate the coinage, okay? So he doesn't remember it because the clones lose less and less memory of the originals each time they have an incarnation. Y'all should totally break down what Tiger means, Tiger Woods, what it means in gematria. I love that information. I think it lends a fascinating context to a lot of the things that we tend to research, right? Keep an open mind. But the car that he was driving in, y'all, is called the Genesis, and Genesis means the creation or the beginning of creation. So they always speak in these signs and symbols when they're doing these dirty deeds. So over in Saudi Arabia, it snowed pretty heavily recently. Everyone was all amazed and they couldn't believe it. I mean, the camels were freezing, but I'm not surprised that it snowed over there because they launched a very successful mission to Mars. They lit up the town square in blood red. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have been tinkering with these space missions and bringing artifacts back, and that's why their environment is going through this extreme weather changes, So if you follow the story of Mars, they have found lots of strange things on Mars, including a outline of what looks to be a African feature woman. There's a whole story about the people of Mars, though. You have to look that up. If y'all ever read the Bible, you would know that this kind of thing has been occurring since the beginning of time. And we recently came upon a story that Olympics coach John Geddert committed suicide after it was discovered that he has been sexually abusing children. Listen, you don't get to be an Olympic coach, a coach of any sort on any high-ranking level, and doing these kind of atrocities to children without a cover-up. And the reason why all of these people that have been in the news about this sort of thing, the reason why they always suicide out is because it is to protect everyone that is above them that's involved. Someone has to take the fall, the buck has to stop so that the trail goes cold, and they suicide these people out. All of these people are not just arbitrarily deciding to take their lives. It is done to prevent them from talking. Currently, we are canceling Mr. Potato Head because Hasbro, the company that produces this toy that has been in existence for 1,000 years, all of a sudden now they're taking the Mr. out of the name of Mr. Potato Head, and it's now going to be called Potato Head. And a lot of people feel this gender reassignment, while on one hand they're saying it's to include all genders, on the other hand, it's to remove the male dominant species from off the face of the earth, okay? They're trying to wipe out masculinity. So people are canceling Mr. Potato Head for that reason. Comment below, let me know if you think this is a good idea, that this shows inclusivity, or do you feel that this is part of the whole transhumanism movement that has swept the earth? And lastly, just when you thought it couldn't even get any more Hollywood weirder, Demi Lovato comes out to tell us that there should be no more gender reveal parties because I guess she said, allegedly according to this report, that some boys are born with vaginas and some girls are born with penises. I think that's what she said. I don't know. I'm confused myself now. But at the end of the day, let the parents decide what they want to celebrate. If the child grows up and decides it wants to be something else, then that's what the child will do. But until then, we're going to keep some sense of normalcy. Okay, Demi, spawn of Satan?
The worldly news, in an effort to get the children back to some sense of normalcy, they are allowed to go to school. They are picking up extracurricular activities, but they are also trying to safeguard them no matter how ridiculous it looks. So they're playing in a band. They have to practice, of course. And so they have masks on. They're in a tent bubble of some sort. Some of the equipment doesn't fit. I mean, it's just one big circus. So you see why I chose to do a weekly roundup this time, because there was just so much craziness going on in this world this week. Almost as if they're writing a comedy that they can't remember the lines to, because they told us that the children weren't as susceptible to even getting it. And now you have them looking like this. Can you imagine the yearbook pictures? I mean, this stuff is just crazy. Some of our best comedy writers must be writing the script of America. Also heard that the SBA would be sending out emails to small business owners in certain urban areas, I think, or lower income areas to apply for the EIDL advance again. There are some requirements, such as you have to have a business checking account with the business name and tax ID associated with the business. There may be a credit score pull, so there may be a threshold as well. And there may be income requirements this time. But as I always say, apply and let them tell you if you qualify or not. And that way, at least you know what you need to work on for sure. Hopefully, I'll be back on track by Monday so I could discuss some of these topics that have been unfolding more deeply and thoroughly, rather than just skimming the surface. I like to decode, so in an effort not to keep the videos long, it would behoove me to just break them down by subject. So have a great week. Have a fantastic weekend. I will see y'all next time. As always, I'm Shree Frezzy.